Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Poulters Talk Sports Podcast, another episode of the Roots Report. I'm Daniel Poulter, beat writer covering the Oakland Roots, San Jose Earthquakes, and Cal football. Watch out for that. We have a special talking to two fellow journalists later this week about Cal spring game football. Be excited for that. But this is all about the Oakland Roots. Short game this week. Absolutely no defensemen on the roster. Everyone injured. And what happens? Let's hit that sounder. Woo, here we go, everyone. Woo.
Roots got a point. 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 Roots got a point.
The Oakland Roots pick up a 4-2 victory over the visiting Las Vegas Lights. The first victory since the second week of the season for the Roots. A well-needed victory after a tumultuous period, I would say, hypothetically, in the world. But the Oakland Roots looked like the real deal last night. Let me not bury the lead. Peter Wilson gets the first ever hat trick in USL play for the Oakland Roots, second in team history. I think it was let me see if I can bring it up here. It was Jack. Where is it for? Good old John had this. It was in the first ever game of the Oakland Roots back in 2019. Jack McInerney. That was close. John will correct me later. But what a way to get your first goals of the season, to get a hat trick inside the Coliseum at the Oakland Coliseum against a team that you needed to beat because Las Vegas Lights are not a very good team, and they showed it. And if the Roots had their full back line, I'm not sure if they're scoring a goal. Let's bring up that back line as David Garcia, Julian Bravo, Tyler Gibson, Hackshaw with a red card, Mark Fisher, all still out with injuries. We will have updates on 3 of those coming up shortly, but the back line that they started against the Las Vegas Lights was Wolfgang Prentice at left back, team leading goal scorer at left back, Michael Edwards at center back, Tommy McCabe at center back, and Jesus De Vicente at right back. And they held their own. Is it a perfect unit? Oh, by no means. You would like someone bigger than Tommy McCabe. You would also like Tommy McCabe in the midfield to be able to start that attack, push forward, and be able to push, like you see in his FOTMOB score. It was a 6.93, I believe. Let me double check this game and see if I'm not just flat out lying to you, which could happen. Yeah, it was a 6.3 for McCabe on FOTMOB. But he did exactly what they needed. It was a stabilizing force with him and Michael Edwards. They allowed Di Vicente and Wolfgang to just basically be extra attackers. They basically ran a 2-man defense and just said, we hope Las Vegas isn't good enough to score 3 goals. And do you know what? Las Vegas was not good enough to score 3 goals. Even though Johnny Rodriguez, former Oakland Roots star striker, did score a goal in this one, he was not overly impressive. I still aggressively stand by my take from last year. This team is better with him not on the roster. You need player, and there's such a different, Johnny Rodriguez is the farthest thing away from a Ryan Martin player, even before Ryan Martin was even a twinkle in the Oakland Roots' eye of possibly having him come over from Virginia. Johnny Rodriguez is the classic, not moving, high degree of difficulty shot making superstar striker for the USL level. And the Roots just have better options. Let's go through some of the things here. Peter Wilson, 3 goals, his first hat trick with the Oakland Roots. 2 assists from Wolfgang Prentice. Wolfgang Prentice now has 7 goal contributions on the season. He is absolutely having a breakout campaign. What we thought would happen last year appears that it could be happening this year. Are we in just an extended Wolfgang supernova? That is a question we're going to have to see, because this is about the point last season where he kind of started to slow down. Yes, was that a lot to do with position changes? Yes. But talking with Ryan Martin post-game, they really love the chemistry that's been building on that left side between Julian Bravo, Wolfgang Prentice, and Danny Trejo. They've been doing some really, really nice runs, and their chemistry, especially passing, it won't be long before Danny Trejo has a goal. Let me just put it that way. Even though I think Danny Trejo has been having I would say, below average of what we were expecting from him season, he, especially on the first goal to Peter Wilson's first goal, completely just ran around a guy, dribbled around him almost in a 360 on the left side. That's the Danny Trejo you want. That's the creative. That's the player that you're really, really looking to get. And other standouts that were really impressive. Faisal Batash got his first goal of the season, an absolutely missile of a shot. Did not second guess it, just stepped into it after a saucy pass from Bertrand Jacquelson. I have to say that weird. I'm sorry. But Batash smashed it, and that's what you want from a position, in that he knows that even though he has played really, really well this season, when everyone's healthy, is Batash starting? And last week we saw the answer was no. Or like against Tulsa, he is not a hypothetical starter. If everything is going in theory correct. I think he may play his way into a starting position, but that is a great luxury to have. When you look at this, we look at this lineup on paper. Let me see if I can bring it up for you guys here. This is a great lineup for the Oakland Roots on name value. If you were like Peter Wilson, Florian Velo, Wolfgang, Trejo, Jockeson, and you're like, they're going to score 5 goals. Then you look at the back line and you go, oh no, if a team is competent, they're in trouble. And Rafael Spiegel was adequate. He made a couple saves that he had to make. He had his classic Spiegel, what are you doing moment, which is not too much of a surprise. I'm kind of just used to that. I still stand by my point of, can you make the playoffs with Rafael Spiegel as your goalkeeper? Yes. I think this team will make the playoffs with Rafael Spiegel as their goalkeeper. Do I think you could become an elite defense with him as your backup? And maybe loan in an MLS backup? We'll see. We did talk with Ryan Martin post-game, and he said the process of them bringing in players, they have been scouting players to bring in during this next period. And usually Ryan Martin is brought into the process when they're deeply looking at a player. And he confirmed that he is currently in that process. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised over the next week or two that we could maybe be getting some rustlings of a player to come in. I would imagine it would have to be on either that back line or as one of the right backs. Something to also bring up, King and T did make his Oakland Roots debut. He was a player that came over with Ryan Martin from Loudoun, was expected to be the starting right back for this team coming into the season. We'll see where he eventually ends up. Eventually, with Tommy McCabe and Michael Edwards both getting a yellow card for savior plays. I'll put it like that, smart yellow cards, if that makes sense. They eventually swapped Tingy to center back, and my talking with the team, they fully believe that he can play center. He could play anywhere on the back line. The position he's probably best is at right back, but if you need him to be a stopgap at center back, if like over maybe a Hackshaw, that could be something I could get behind, because for the people who want it or not, I fully expect Hackshaw to be starting this weekend against Monterey Bay. Just from you need to give like Babosi or McCabe or Edwards at least a tiny minute of a break. All three of those have played every single minute of every single game this season, and you're playing a cup game against Monterey Bay, a team that you should beat, a team that should be a walking free victory if the Oakland Roots are ready to roll. Other things, Wilson had all 3 goals. Batosh had the 4th. Wolfgang 2 assists. Jacqueline 1 assist. Some players that stood out. They had Florian Velo playing midfield in the former Tommy McCabe spot, as Tommy McCabe slipped down to center back. And Florian has a really good. It was very strange. I haven't looked at the deep analytical stats on him yet for this game. Visually, he looked a little funky because he is playing out of position there. They were just like, you were good enough as a distributor. We're just going to move you down the field from your normal position. And is it perfect? No. Am I fine with it? If this is like the stopgap for a couple weeks? Yes, because he is that good enough. He does have that pedigree. Let me come down to the bench here. We did have some debuts for the season, which I was shocked it took this long, but Ali Almasnawi, top young prospect for the Oakland Roots, starter for most of last season, finally got into this game. He was fine. Though I fully expect him to start on Saturday, especially if the Roots do kind of go with a 5-1-0/bench unit to start Saturday's game against Monterey Bay in the Prince Tires Cup. If you have any desire to win or advance in that group, you have to you have to get their coach fired, is what the mentality you need to be going into. Because there is a non-0% chance that Monterey Bay will fire their head coach after they lose to the Roots on Saturday. If they lose to the Roots on Saturday. I do like the Monterey Bay goalkeeper a lot. He can stonewall you. Their center backs are very good. Everything else on Monterey Bay is a little bit of a clown fiesta. Let's see what else here. Jackson Keel continues to be absolutely Danny Gomez-able. He is not flashy. It's not pretty, but he'll play a decently large amount of time in the USL or be a star in USL 1. He's never going to probably advance from that level, but that's okay. I liked what I saw from Tingy. There was his first play, he did kind of get burned, very similar to Jesus Di Vicente play against Phoenix in his first game, where they kind of threw him in around the 70th minute, and it did not go well to start. There was a little bit of nerves. The Roots were up 3-0, and then very rapidly it became 3-2. And I keep saying this, last year's team loses this game 4-3 or draws late, and you're just disgruntled. Let me see if I can bring up the standings here on FOTMob. As the Oakland Roots, they sit in 4th place alone, 1 game in hand over the top teams, currently Orange County and San Antonio. They have a monster game in a couple weeks against the next home game, where they host El Paso Locomotive. El Paso Locomotive are the top goal-scoring team in the league. All they know how to do is they are going to score at least 2 goals. Can you stop them from getting the 3rd? That's going to be an astronomically game. Also, for the fans, I know this week, a Wednesday where Shohei Ohtani's pitching across the bay, with the Earthquakes playing against Austin. There was very little fan. It was, I believe, the lowest I've ever seen at the Coliseum. It was like 2,249. There has to be more support. Like, this team is going to be good this year, and it's very worrying if that number doesn't get back up to like 10,000 on average. Like, this team, the Coliseum has to be rocking. That's just a little side tangent. But next game, outside of the Monterey Bay Cup game, the Loudon revenge game, as Ryan Martin returns back home to Virginia to play against his former team. I weirdly actually think that is going to be a victory, or not victory, but at least points for Loudon. I think that is probably their Super Bowl, at least for some of the players that are remaining. But it also is Florian Velo, it is Keegan Tingy, it is Tommy McCabe. How that team was not good by the end of the season, I will never know. It's their time going back, and it's time to prove that, hey, they're in a better place. Loudon in the Eastern Conference right now. Let me see if I can bring it up. It doesn't seem like I can, but let me just grab it over here on this other page. Loudon right now, they are in they have drawn 4 times and they have lost twice. They are one of 3 teams to have not won a game. Their next 2 opponents for the Oakland Roots, Monterey Bay and Loudon, through 13 games combined, have 0 wins. These should be victories. Depending on injuries, yes, the backline is absolutely banged up. But these are the games that the Oakland Roots, if they're the team that we think they are, and maybe it's a little bit of hopium, maybe it's a little too much hope, but these are the games that you need to start racking up so that you don't even have to think about Tulsa. And like right now, Tulsa's down here at 6 points. Though I do want to point out something for any pessimists out there. Let me scroll down. The 3 wins of the season for the Oakland Roots: Monterey Bay, Las Vegas Lights, New Mexico. One of their draws, FC Tulsa. This argument does not hold up as much because the Tampa Bay Rowdies are a disgusting powerhouse alongside Louisville City in the 2-team race, because Charleston just got battered by Rhode Island, I believe, which was very shocking. But Tampa is good. Tampa, that is a great tie. Fantastic tie. But the Roots currently are beating the teams that are bad. And that's really good. Those are free points that you have to get each time, especially when you're at home. Playing Las Vegas and New Mexico at home, those should be wins, especially if New Mexico is looking as kind of funky as they are. Do keep in mind, New Mexico has only played 5 games so far, and there's some teams that have already played 8. So their standings is a lot better. They're more of a 7, 8, 9 team than a 10, 11, 12. They are nowhere as near as bad as Monterey Bay. It's even so much better that the Roots got that victory to start the season, because it would have looked atrocious if they had gotten a draw. But Monterey Bay, keep in mind, Monterey Bay tied Sacramento. To be fair, they should have beat Sacramento. They had 2 penalty kicks no, they had 1 penalty kick. They missed the second one the next week. But they had a 90th minute penalty kick against Sacramento Republic. Not Republics. Republic. Which is going to be kind of a stain for Sacramento this season. Like, you can't be dropping points to potentially. There's Sporting Jacks is a team, and they actually may just be the worst team in the league. Just like, look, it's not pretty. But the Oakland Roots are heading in the right direction. This was, so far, the Monterey Bay game. If you win it, awesome. If you don't, that's frustrating, but it's a cup game, which you're probably playing a lot of subs. I do not have a confirmation on that, but that is what they have done in the past. Ryan Martin is a new individual, but between Benny Fellhaber and also Gavin Glinton, the full team roster is not playing usually against Monterey Bay. Monterey Bay has had the week off since last Saturday. They are on full rest, where the Roots are coming in off of only, I believe it will be 4 or 3 days rest. This is a must. Like I said, I would not be shocked if Monterey Bay does not win this game, not even get points. If they don't win against the Roots, they may fire their head coach. I don't know exactly what they're doing. It's a funky team. They've got a couple good players, but they're just not utilizing them that well, and it's very, very strange overall. But the Oakland Roots continue to be an interesting enigma, and I'm here for it. It's going to be an exciting season. I'm not sure if I have much more for you. Oh, here's our post game. I was able to snap this picture. It was awesome to see Peter Wilson in the hooligans scarf, and then also looks like everyone on the team signed the ball for him personally after the game. That's absolutely fantastic. Peter Wilson, absolute gem. So glad he was able to talk to us post game. Let me see if there's anything else. I think the last thing is injuries. Specifically to the back line. Let me bring this back up. Let's go back to our facts. Big facts. So we did get news that Tyler Gibson is looking day-to-day. Bravo is in a similar situation, which seems to me like the Loudon game, maybe where he comes back, worst case, coming back for, if you want to be safe with travel, the El Paso game on May 9th. But the more concerning news / kind of expected, I did have sources inside the building and just in general that David Garcia, it's going to be a little bit longer. I would not expect him. We got Ryan and Martin to at least confirm. Don't expect Garcia for a decent amount of time. I would say if you're being optimistic, maybe late June. If you're not, July is probably a good target window. We don't have the exact injury, but the speculation is somewhere on his knee or shin area, which really sucks because him and Michael Edwards were potentially a top defensive pairing in the league, and that is now a glaring hole next to, because you can just have Tommy McCabe play center back, but you would really like to continue having him with Babosi, where this feels like a prime location potentially for a loan in or a transfer in. Ryan Martin definitely appears to be the type of coach that he wants to know what you're going to do. He wants players that are an extension of himself, which Tommy McCabe, the professor, is. With so many of these players and youthful players or players that haven't seen the field, he seems to have a much more, hey, it's going to take you a while to earn this time. We're not just going to give it to you and see what you got. Which is a very safe and sound thing to do, but it also leads to a lot of more challenging logistics, especially when it comes to the center back role. I don't think fans, I don't think this is a very hot take, I don't think fans want to see Neville Hawkshaw at center back with this team when Michael Edwards comes back, and I don't blame them there. Hawkshaw this season has shown his wiry veteranness, but he keeps getting burned and he keeps costing this team points. And I don't care how much of a veteran you are and how experienced you are and how much of a USL like all-timer you are, if you're causing this team to lose points, you can't see the field. And then the next thing comes with who even can replace, like, who is in this spot? Let me bring up the Roots roster right now. Other thing to keep in mind is Jesse Maldonado's 25-day contract was not re-upped. He is already been removed from the team roster page. We saw him a Instagram post of him in Chicago right now, so it does not appear he worked out at all, which is unfortunate for him, but that is another spot for a potential player. I've been told by people in the organization Tingy can play center back, which I wouldn't be shocked if that's maybe the route they go. Like, options in my brain right now, if Gibson or Bravo aren't back for the Monterey Bay game, my guess is you're starting Hackshaw and Edwards, but Edwards comes out pretty quick, probably in the second half for a 5-1-0 kid, depending on how the game is going. Either have Wolfgang on the left side, or another option you could do is you start Tingy on right back, DiVicente at left back, Hackshaw and Edwards, and you just kind of vibe roll with it. I don't know how I fully feel about that grouping. I would feel a lot better if it was Tingy, Edwards, DiVicente on the left, and then Tyler Gibson on the right. And then you have, whenever Gibson goes forward, you have Edwards slide to the right. And so Edwards is basically your de facto, you play 3 in the back, even though it's 4. We have not seen anything. A great example is Jonathan Boyo. We just haven't seen absolutely anything. Young players, it seems like it's really hard to get in. You would absolutely love to see Bravo this weekend. His affiliations being a Dodger fan outside of that. Mark Fisher is still probably a few weeks off, if maybe not a month. We've been getting kind of mixed data on Fisher, which probably means that his injury is one of those things where it takes a little while to figure out what's things. So I wouldn't expect him until probably around World Cup time, I would imagine. We'll see what happens there. Other options are, you could, let's see here. You could still keep the absolute some psychopath behavior and just play Tommy McCabe still at the back against Monterey. I don't think they'll do that. I think it's still going to be hard for them to take McCabe off the field and Babosi off the field, but like, Ollie has to start that game. Like, that is just a clear cut. Makes so much sense for Ollie to start. Emilio Martinez did get in last night. He definitely showed he was a little green. We have not seen Liko Rocic, which is a shame. There's a lot of talent there. But he's I think a 19-year-old kid. It's going to take a little while for him to break into the lineup. But I could definitely see a Tyler Gibson game. I'll be very, very intrigued to see who they give days off. It makes total sense for Danny Trejo, Peter Wilson, Florian Below. If they do play, they're getting subbed out at like halftime or at 60 minutes. You can't play them in a cup game that long unless it's a like Monterey Bay scores early and you are dedicated to getting that victory. But overall, not a bad week in Roots land, eh? Roots got a point. Roots in 4th place. Best start in franchise history. Not bad, Buckaroos. But if you have any questions, I'll do another pod on probably Sunday of this week. Unfortunately, I will not be down in Monterey Bay. I cannot lose another car tire in the streets of Gilroy. Watch out. Those tires got ops. But I will unfortunately not be down there, but I will be doing a pod and maybe some things. Watch out for an article maybe on Sunday afternoon. We'll see. We'll see if my fingers still got it. We'll see. But I'd also expect to see Kendall McIntosh probably in goal. That would not surprise me. Or if they're being wild and play Luna, but I think they'll play McIntosh. Give Spiegel his acting break. But if you have any questions, if you've made it this far, make sure to like and subscribe, be it on Spotify or YouTube. I'll see you all next week. Bye.